Hello, there we go. Okay, just wanted to make sure the microphone was working. Hello, and welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. It just keeps going, doesn't it? All right, so I guess tonight I'm probably competing, with the Oscars? So don't expect to see many people. Although that is just about the most miserable thing to watch. Some people online, though, like they do live stream commentary on it, so it's pretty funny. The Your Movies Suck channel is pretty good. He gets some funny guys together, and when he does when he cuts down, the kind of the best of edit of when they talk about the Oscars, it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. But other than that, I can't even imagine. And there's no host this year? Wonderful. But anyhow, it should just be me talking to myself tonight, I'm pretty sure. It looks like everything's working. I think I've got the pressure sensitivity back on this after my Windows update. It's, usually takes reinstall the driver and restart your machine to get things back to how they were pre-update. Which is funny. Yeah, it seems like Windows has that thing which whatever you installed last is going to cause the most trouble, so you just have to install the thing you need the most last and most recently. And then it seems to do okay. And restarting is the cure of many PC problems. All right. So, I have no idea what I'm doing this week, so just a little warm-up, I guess, will help. But the street's pretty noisy, so I'm not sure how much of that you can hear. There's probably a little bit in the background, but some pretty big traffic today for some reason. Wow, I'm nice and off this morning. Ugh. So I hope everything is good where you are. And let's see if I can even draw cylinders today. Oh boy. Yeah, so not much happening besides the end of winter and the beginning of what is the most beautiful and the most terrible season in Japan with the allergies. They have a ridiculous allergy season here, and so many allergic people. So I think it's literally depression medication and allergy medication are like always battling for the #1 spot in the pharmaceutical, top sellers list. So if you've made a good allergy medication or a good antidepressant medication, you're doing well in Japan. It's funny that there actually is antidepressant medication here, because there are so many depressed people, but so many people like unwilling to seek treatment. So I don't know how they get that medicine actually prescribed to them, because people, I think, kind of secretly have to seek treatment. I guess it's getting a little bit better, but still there are people, I think I mentioned this before, but the common attitude in Japan, and I've heard this multiple times, like it's just an automatic response that people have when you talk about a therapist, like a psychiatrist or a psychologist. The Japanese response that everybody believes is, oh, they're crazier than their patients, so why would you go to a doctor like that? Because they're even worse than you are. If you're having a problem, they've got it worse. So I don't know what that is. It's weird. I guess because it goes against the kind of Japanese thinking, the force of will. Your will alone can make everything happen. Your discipline, your kind of mind over body can make anything happen. So why couldn't you fix your psychological or mental disorders that way as well? So that's a strange, commonly held belief here. So a lot of people go untreated and train suicide, so it's just crazy. uh, and then you also have the people that just go into their bedrooms and never come out. The kind of kids that fail but don't have the motivation to commit suicide, end up just being mentally ill in their house, and sometimes like stabbing their parents to death in fights, in the regular fights of why don't you do something with your life, why don't you get a job or go get married or something. There's a lot of that as well. Not a lot of that, but I mean that that exists here more commonly. I think it's a kind of a more of a cultural phenomena than other places. It's silly because so much of the perception or image of Japan is a ridiculous stereotype. So I don't want to propagate any. Sorry, my keyboard is in a weird position this week. Any more weird false stereotypes, because I think that's all Japan has, is people just believing a bunch of nonsense about it. Because still, I think ninja and geisha are their most popular cultural image. I think you'd have quite a time finding either very easily, depending on where you went in Japan. But anyhow, all right. Toilet paper. This is not looking good. Yeah. So. Yeah. No. Just when I realized, oh yeah, I'm probably doing this the same time as the Oscars. I was thinking about that. Thinking about the. Was that like 2015 or whatever? That Oscars So White, and all of their kind of virtue signaling that they have to do every year. And Hollywood is even more funny. And it's funny that they're both in California, but Hollywood is even more interesting than Silicon Valley, because I think Silicon Valley can more easily deceive themselves and convince themselves that they are doing good. They're making the world a better place, and they're changing how we communicate and changing whatever. They're having an effect socially. But Hollywood has a much more difficult time making that jump. I think they know they're overpaid and they do nothing, so they're virtue signaling, and they're having to moralize and tell people what to do and tell people how the world should be, rings a lot more false. And they are you can tell it's so guilt ridden, guilt inspired. So it's really hard to listen to. That was the thing. Was that last year? The Three Billboards movie? I don't remember the whole title. It was in something, Missouri, whatever. But Three Billboards. I wanted to see that after it. I think it either won or was nominated. That's how much I pay attention, and I finally got to see it. And it was, good performances by talented actors. But the interesting thing about it is it rang really false. Like the actors obviously have a lot of trouble, and it might have been the script. It actually might have been the screenplay itself. I don't think it was so much the actors' fault, but there was something that felt really false about it. It was like a caricature, but very subtly a caricature. It was like people that have totally forgotten or are so far removed from their like Midwestern roots, because very few people are from Los Angeles. Everyone just comes there for the money. The people that are from Los Angeles are the people you never see, that are out in the desert all the time. But the tone of it and the kind of depiction of that life, and it rang really, really false. And it was strange because it was like they were trying so hard to, this is how middle America lives. You could feel the how alien that world is to people, and trying to write characters or trying to play characters in that situation, even though most of those people come from that situation. They come from small towns in Canada and the Midwest in America, but they're still in this weird denial. So that huge success, or the ridiculous amount of money for doing practically nothing, is I think has a psychological toll on you. And yeah, I just remember that was, I mean, it was, I like, that was an interesting story and good performances, but that was the thing about that movie, Three Billboards, that was very odd, is it felt like they were trying a little too hard to figure out what people in this kind of situation are like, and these good, honest, simple people. Yeah, I don't know. There was something odd about the depiction. Like things were exaggerated that shouldn't be exaggerated, and things were, it was just all skewed a little bit. And it's fiction, and for the sake of that, they're not trying to make a fake, like a documentary style depiction of these people's lives, but the things that they chose to do felt very coastal in their view of the middle of the country. And yeah, I don't know, that constantly depresses the hell out of me, because I come from the kind of Rust Belt, Midwestern area, and it's just, people just flee that area, and everybody goes for better education and better jobs, everywhere else, and very few people come back, and it's just like a ghost town. It reminds me so, I mean, the feeling of it reminds me so much of in the 80s Blade Runner movie, the airships flying over, and a new life in the outworld colonies, and it feels like it's not going to be too long before they're doing that to the Midwesterners. They're just advertising a new life, a better life for you, where there's actually jobs and things to do, and less meth and less heroin, and yeah, it's just really, really depressing. So it feels so much like a left behind kind of situation, and it really shouldn't be. I mean, you should be able to, especially with the tax situations and cost of living and things being so different, places in the Midwest should be able to take advantage of that and say, you're not living in San Francisco, but you're able to do, everything. You might be able to attract a different kind of person that doesn't want to live that tech, West Coast lifestyle, and is as talented and wants to do that same sort of thing and wants to actually raise a family and do something like that. I don't know. I just don't understand how things have gotten so abandoned. And what I see in some of my family members from that, that we're still in the Midwest, and then have their kids, or my cousins, or whoever is visiting from other parts of the country. Actually, most of my cousins stayed put. It was very, very few. That's a wonderful thing. Yeah, most of my cousins stayed near where they were born. But yeah, my family, we're all over the place. But that kind of what's it called, the inferiority complex that kind of goes on. You go to a restaurant with your parents from the Midwest, and it's like, oh, you should pick the wine. I'm sure you know so much more about wine, living so close to Napa Valley or whatever. I don't know, whatever they're feeling. But the more culture, more education, more excitement, and they default to this, we're just simple folk, and it's so depressing. It makes me so sad. That kind of dynamic, and it just sickens me, because then you do get the coastal people condescending. It's like, you're just simple folks, and we'll explain to you why this is wrong, and we'll explain to you why you don't say retard, and we'll explain to you. Those kinds of things are just brutal. And then people, I'm sure in the Midwest do then start to ape some of that horrible behavior as far as telling people how to live their lives. But yeah, I just remember that feeling so depressing, and there was such a weird left behind feeling that and people just kind of conceded, well, life isn't going to be very big or exciting. And yeah, I don't know, that's just odd. That's just an odd, sad thing that people shouldn't. Yeah, I don't know what that is, and I don't know. But since I had that feeling, because that was a while ago, the country is definitely divided into those kinds of camps. The woke and the not unwoke, the still asleep. And, I think they would criticize most people from the middle of the country as being that. And just, it's just sickening. I don't know. I just feel, and I don't want to talk about politics, but I just want to say that, most people's politics seem to come from a place where wherever they can most easily condescend. So they'll be conservative if the conservatives are very condescending, then they'll be conservative, and if the liberals are very condescending, then they'll be a liberal. It's just whatever gives them the highest position to look down on you from. I think that's really, really sad, and just guarantees that there's no understanding and no cooperation. In fact, you hear, I was talking about that before, that the middle is all sides see the middle as most evil, a centrist or a kind of middle ground, a reasonable person. I actually heard somebody refer to themselves, or, I'm not that, a reasonable guy. So the connotation of someone that has a well-considered and balanced opinions about things is reasonable, and the way they say that in such a negative way is pretty hysterical. I'm not one of those reasonable people. So you basically just have to choose a side and then fight and scream for that side. I mean, but that is how you make money. I mean, that is, if you want to get paid for your opinion, and if you want to, be an influencer, or, whatever, be I don't know, a pundit, a content creator, whatever you even call that anymore, you do have to pick a side. And even if it's not what you believe, you just got to fight, crazy hard for it, because that's entertaining. So you can't speak, well-reasoned about anything. You have to have a very, one-sided opinion, because you have to speak, you have to reinforce, what everybody on your side believes. That's all they're looking for is, is confirmation. I don't know, confirmation of their opinion that, yes, you believe as they do, so we're good. We're all good. It's crazy. Okay. Now just trying strange boxes. But, yeah, so those are things that keep popping up that I think are they feel very new to me. Like the try hard, the insult of try hard. She's a real try hard, or, insulting somebody by saying they're trying too hard. That's hysterical. I mean, that's that's very funny. And also the that abbreviation, I think it's like an editor's abbreviation, too long, didn't read kind of thing. So everyone has the TLDR version of everything, because that seems to be the job that we've given all of these content creators, is just like, read the internet to us, or digest these books to us. I'm really getting tired of the philosophy, I guess there is nothing to do with that degree. So the philosophy majors or whatever go on to YouTube, and they're talking about, the significance of, the Black Panther movie, or some kind of, type of character in a TV series. And it's as, if you listen to the 20th century philosopher, or according to the 15th century philosopher, it's like, and so we're getting these philosophy lessons that have this significance, this, tie to pop culture. That's just nonsense. And most of the time the use, or what they're doing, it's I don't know, it's just like, I think philosophy is, just like anything else. You can know a little bit of it and, talk a good game, but it's like science. You're really not going to be able to explain a lot of the popular, or a lot of the newest theories very easily to the layperson. And so you're oversimplifying, and you're making weird, just to make your point, you're kind of you know, crushing things and manipulating things because the actual ideas are too complicated to explain in the 4-minute YouTube video or whatever. But I'm really getting tired of that, of people reinforcing all of their opinions by saying, you know, quoting some writer or philosopher and saying, and that is why, you know, Darth Vader is, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's just, yeah, too many people with useless degrees that are trying to, I don't know, feel something, get something out of that. But I'm getting really tired of those, the analysis of pop culture and always explaining why television commercials have the effect they do on you or whatever, the, you know, interaction of media. And it's like, all right. Yeah, it's that, what was that called when the Woody Allen pseudo-intellectuals. Yeah, it's got a real pseudo-intellectual kind of vibe to it where, you know, you're just having people, they'll pop up a little photograph of the philosopher they're talking about, you know, whatever, and they'll you know, quote something from them, and you know, his theory of fabrication through the, you know, okay, and yeah, it feels like that very much. This, like, you know, how there was like in the 70s, like pop psychology, like as psychology was maturing, there was, you know, magazines that were saying, you know, how to keep your child from, you know, wanting additional sweets or whatever. Whatever. There's all these like weird parenting ideas and all these, you know, the latest research, which was just, you know, some of it was just nonsense, you know, kind of made bite-sized and digestible for a more layman. And I think we keep forgetting that, and just because we've got so many students now on, you know, talking to us and telling us things on the internet, I think we forget that there's specializations in, you know, sciences and philosophy and literature and everything for a reason, and you go deep into that, and it's very focused and specific, and it's not going to be terribly interesting or even comprehensible to the average person. And so, yeah, it just is very, very odd that that's become and it's just a superiority, you know, pseudo intellectual bullshit thing that, you know, critiquing pop culture and throwing in your favorite French philosopher is, it just, yeah. And some of it is such a stretch. Some of it is just so painful where, you know, they must have been, you know, doing crazy searches about how can I link advertising to a sports sponsorship, and yeah, just, yeah, it's very odd. All right, as I draw boxes, I'm complaining and complaining and complaining. But that's a, yeah, I just remember that the scene in, oh, what even was that? Was that in Annie Hall or the Woody Allen movie where he's standing in line getting frustrated by people ahead of him talking about Marshall McLuhan, and he says, I happen to have Marshall McLuhan right here, and pulls him from behind the plant, you know, where they're waiting in line, and he says, you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know, you know, you don't understand my study or my research at all. And yeah, just that's always very entertaining, and I think we're back to the point where we need that kind of reminding that you know, try not to torture everybody with your philosophy degree. It's not our fault that there's nothing you can do with it aside from make pop culture YouTube videos. Ugh. But anyhow. All right. Just rambling. Aren't you glad that I don't talk about creativity anymore? But yeah, so we're headed into March, which is a very strange time here. Like I was saying, a beautiful time because the cherry blossoms are all coming out, but at the same time it's like 3 days of winter, 3 days of spring, 3 days of winter, 3 days of spring. So everybody's sick, you know, everybody's got a cold, everybody doesn't know what coat to wear. So And I think the trains are literally just based on, public transportation is based on just a date. They don't actually go by like how warm or cold it actually is. They just go by a date. So March 21st, we turn on the air conditioning, that kind of thing. They, turn off the heat on a certain date, and they turn on the air conditioning a certain date. And I'm sure it's part of a budgetary thing too. But so it never matches. And sometimes you get on, really hot or freezing cold trains on the day when it shouldn't be like that. So it's a little difficult season. And if it's cold, you basically cannot buy any warm clothing anymore. Like the longer the cold season goes, like you cannot buy anything. If you need a different jacket or a scarf or something, it just doesn't exist anymore. That's always funny. All right. So what's going on with any of this? Yeah, I think last week I muddled around long enough. I think it was almost 2 hours of streaming. That's crazy. Didn't even feel it because I was just not getting anywhere with any of the drawings, or maybe just talking more than I was drawing, as usual. I don't know what to do with any of this. Oh, there's a funny thing that I saw. I forget, it was Instagram or something, but people were showing off interior designs and stuff in a new kind of popular style. And I guess it just kind of avoids any criticism or people like actually reading the spines of your book to see what's there. So books are now, purely decorative for an interior design. So you'll see bookshelves and all the books are spine in, pages out. So it's just paper. It just looks like stacks. So there's just like stacks of paper on bookshelves. So you don't see what any of those books are, but the books are still very decorative and you look like you have some sort of library. But for all you know, they could just be, garbage, trash, test bindings that were done by a publisher. They don't have to be anything. They can literally just be stacks of paper. But that's so ugly, the seeing books with the spine turned in on bookshelves, because it looks more decorative. It's insane. Decorative books. It's wonderful. Yeah, that's the fun thing. I love, like, when you go to the IKEA showroom and they set stuff up, the books they have at that place are so weird. They obviously just get these weird masses of, like, photography books and things that would, the size of the book that looks like it would fit there. There's some really funny books in some of those showrooms. So they have to be spine out just so you can be amused by how strange they are. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing with any of this. Let me double check. Yeah, looks like everything's running okay. 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 Sorry, just checking to see everything's running. I was worried because I hadn't plugged my microphone in and I realized I just went live and I didn't test the microphone. So that's why you were getting all the hesitation at the beginning. But seems to be working fine. Okay, well, let's do some more over here and see if anything clicks. Okay. Yeah, there wasn't anything in my head so much about what to draw today. I used to keep a bit. First it was actual paper, actually bound notebook, and then it was like just a file on a like Evernote or one of the cloud kind of file deals, and I should just have a whole list of ideas. So anytime I would think of a cartoon idea, I kind of jot it down. But yeah, I don't know. It just it seems like the drawings were kind of stagnant when I was doing that. I didn't like the result of drawing to a joke as much. I usually kind of failed at making a very interesting image, and I don't know why that is, but and especially for this, I think just doing it kind of spontaneously seems to work the best. Oh, just a moment. There we go. Sorry about that. My daughter is here. She stayed with her grandmother, so she's in the city today. All right. Whoa. Are we okay? Yeah, I think everything's okay. All right. Yeah, so let's see how these two things look together. Where's this guy? All right. Whoa. Split screen. Yeah, see if I can get these to work together. All right. Something like that. See if we can get these. A little bit. A little bit more. Looks like an ice cream sandwich more than a book at this point. There we go. Let's see if I fill this. Maybe try this way. Oh, actually, maybe that makes more sense. As you can see the difference in thickness, yeah, much more easily. Okay, what happened there? Okay, yeah, that might work better. Yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't be doing so much manipulation. I'm getting a weird variation of the thickness of the line. We'll go with that. Thick and thin. Hey, and let's see here. I guess this is a toilet paper joke, so I can move some of these boxes away. Let's see, this one and this one. There we go. Move these up. Okay. All right. So. Oh. What's up? Oh, you need some help? Okay, just a second. Sorry, I'll be right back. Okay, there we are. Sorry about that. A little math homework. It's amazing. She's, whoa, what's going on there? Only in 3rd grade, and it's a test week. How do I have 2 instances of, oh boy. So I dragged something in the wrong place here. Let's put these back. Okay, there we go. All right. Are we back? Yeah, okay. All right, so I guess we're doing books and toilet paper. Great. Okay. Put that in front. think this is another one that's going to look better composed this way. Yeah. I think so. I kind of like this, yeah. By himself. All right. Let's see here. Okay, something like that. Okay. I don't know where any of this is going. Yeah, it's going to be a very monochromatic. Sorry about the cough there. Very monochromatic. Is my microphone still okay? Boom, boom. Yes. Okay. Image. I'm going to have to probably color the toilet paper a little bit. So let's try that. Just do the super light blue and super light pink. Just so that there's more color. Yeah, that should show up a little nicer. And then that same level of pink. There we go. And then a nice cardboard color. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. Wow, traffic sounds really loud today. I'll have to listen back and see if you can actually hear all of that. It's crazy. I think the microphone is pretty good about that, though. Luckily. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be the tricky one. Try to get the sense of all the layers above everything. There we go. Something like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. There we go. Okay. Some highlights. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't show up on that blue. I think I just need to do a little bit of white. Just to keep it light and airy looking. I think I need it on the pink. Yeah, maybe just a little. Yeah, definitely don't need it on the cardboard. I don't know why my cursor is jiggling like that. I think my mouse is on its last legs. It's not clicking very well anymore. I have to see if I can dig out my older one, or just get something to replace it. All right. Oh, there we go. Open. Okay. So something like that. Yeah, the shadows look real. Let's try something. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see here. So a real wide brush. Okay, come on. There we go. Yeah, maybe just to make that look a little bit lighter. Yeah, that's nice. It reads a little bit nicer. So we'll leave it like that. Okay, and books. Let's just do some simple. All right. And same kind of tone of red. Okay. Oops, sorry. Bumped the mic there. That's not right, is it? It's too yellow. Yeah, like this. That's better. All right. Bum, bum, bum. And then do this. Okay. Now maybe do some writing on the book. Goldish kind of thing. All right. And now a little shadow. This edge here. Fill those. Then try to get that crease there. Yeah. And then the edge. Oh, I didn't do the, yeah, that side yet. Oh, I think that works. Or here, maybe the, there we go. And then this side. Now it looks like pages, and I guess I can do that here as well. There we go. Okay, so I forgot on the other one. Time for eyes. A little closer together. All right, and some drop shadow on the correct layer. There we go. All right. There we go. And maybe edge of that. All right, and now eyes on the other part. All right. I have no idea where I'm going with that. All right. Well, that is enough for the drawing. So writing is next. But before then, a quick convenience store section. So, yeah. So this is, yeah, one of those standard things you see everywhere. And I can't remember if I talked about it yet or not. I don't think I did. But, yeah, I'll try to add a little bit to it if I already have. So let's switch over to the convenience store. All right. So for the convenience store segment, I wanted to just show you briefly this very ubiquitous thing in Japan. So Pocari Sweato. And this is, funny enough, this is done by the same company. Maybe not originally, but this is made now by the same company that made Calorie Mate. So it's the Otsuka Pharmaceuticals. So it's a pharmaceutical company that makes both this and I don't have that box around anymore, and the Calorie Mate. So it's a pharmaceutical company. But this is basically, if you couldn't guess from the weird name, this is basically the Gatorade of Japan. So they put sweat in the title because they wanted to sound sporty, and so the kind of Japanese thinking of sweato means like, you know, sounds more athletic, but for the, you know, native English ear, a kind of semi-clear liquid called sweat doesn't sound very delicious to drink. And Pocari doesn't really mean anything. It just sounds kind of bright, like, you know, hikori, like pika pika, hikari, kind of bright fleshy word. So Pocari is the bright sounding word. So it's a bright sounding sweat. And this is basically just like any other sports drink. It's just electrolytes, you know, a little bit of sugar, electrolytes, and replacement. Oh, but it's got great text. Not really, just strange, not really bad English on the front. Pocari Sweat is a healthy beverage that smoothly supplies the lost water and electrolytes during perspiration with the appropriate density and electrolytes, close to that of human body fluid, whatever fluid that is. It can be easily absorbed into the body. So Gatorade, basically. And the funny thing is, just like with Calorie Mate, they push it really hard for students and try to, like, you know, aim it at markets that they think it'll work. But if you ask most people, this is the when you're sick in bed kind of drink. Like these sports drinks or something, if you become dehydrated from, you know, stomach flu or whatever, this is usually what you're drinking at home. So people don't associate it as much with athletics as they do with illness. So I think that's a pretty funny kind of cultural thing. They try so hard from their naming and even the look of it and everything, and all the sponsorships that they do, and then of course their advertising to make it a young, active, exciting drink. And all the advertising, just like the Calorie Mate, they do these epic commercials where they go all over the world doing their little Pocari Sweato dance and do a really energetic, exciting advertising. But most of the time this is just what you've got by the bed when you're throwing up all day or whatever. So it's a funny thing that they tried very hard, and it just was amusing to me that this was the same pharmaceutical company that makes Calorie Mate. So most of this kind of supplemental kind of stuff they're not even hiding it. It's not by a food company at all. It's a pharmaceutical company that's making it. Yeah, Otsuka. So that is Pocari Sweat. And so you'll see that. So they do, you know, bottles and cans, and of course jelly and all kinds. I think there might even be like an instant one, like a concentrate or a powder one that you can make it, yeah, just mixing it with water. So it's a very funny thing. So the taste of it is very similar to Gatorade. It's that minerally taste. This is a little bit grapefruit, maybe. There's some kind of citrus flavor, kind of like a grapefruit. Not so bitter, but a little grapefruit, and it's kind of sweet. But that aftertaste of like Gatorade, whatever they do to get all the magnesium and potassium in there, makes it taste that certain way. I don't think it has any artificial sugar in it. It's just a little lightly sweet. I couldn't find anything in the ingredients that sounded like aspartame or anything. But it just has that funny aftertaste of all these sports drinks. And the other kind of competing, so Coca-Cola makes their own. This is their like vitamin version, but Coca-Cola makes Aquarius. So Aquarius is a direct kind of competition to Pocari Sweat. So Pocari Sweat's the pharmaceutical company, and Coca-Cola makes a competitor called Aquarius, and it looks identical and tastes very similar. It's it's just slightly different kind of citrusy taste, and both are about the same. But this just has that great creepy pharmaceutical design label, and all the, of course, the Coca-Cola stuff has really slick, nice designed logos and things. So if you like really dated, weird looking graphic design, go for the Otsuka. Otsuka made products, because they do not update stuff at all. It's very funny. Yeah, so that is it. The Gatorade of Japan, Pocari Sweat. So if you hear that, that's what they're talking about, and it's worth trying, especially if you come to Japan on a sweaty summer, humid summer. You'll probably be sweating a lot, and so it might be worth seeing how it tastes. And it's very Gatorade-y without all the flavoring. Like I think Gatorade goes a little bit extreme, making things taste more flavored, and they don't. They just let it taste like what it is. But that's it. So Pocari Sweat, that logo, you will see that famous logo everywhere. And yeah, Gatorade, basically. Okay, back to the writing. There we go. Okay. So we're writing. Okay, sorry about that. Another missed button there. I didn't mean to end this. I was trying to talk through this. Okay, so yeah, I just gotta, when the focus is not on Photoshop, I get those wonderful scene switches, which I wish there was some way to just disable that, because I've done that too many times on the stream. Okay, so the idea was the cardboard tube in the middle of the toilet paper, and the surprise. So they were... What's going on? I don't have any control. There we go. They were both surprised by... Cardboard tube. So once the roll. Once the roll was finished, the cardboard tube made his surprise appearance. Board O-R. Surprise appearance. Let's see. Okay, so they had, I don't know if surprise is right. They were surprised or they had expected all along. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, okay. Sorry, just double checking. All right. So let's see. Once the roll was finished, so it was always surprising. Toilet paper was always surprised. The end of the roll. Huh. Yeah, like it's this constant surprise or this constant reveal of what's really going on. Oh, I didn't even notice that. I knocked that shadow out. What is, nothing is working very well today here. I knocked that shadow out with my fuzzy, my softening of that. I think that works okay though. There we go. Okay. Wow. Yeah, something is wrong memory-wise. I'm not getting any keyboard shortcuts here. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the reveal of the cardboard. Should probably put his eyes around here. Yeah, so I'm trying to get across they're always surprised by this situation, even though how ridiculous that would be, but that's what I'm trying to, yeah, get across. So, let's see. Cardboard tube always reminded them of their brief existence, the short existence, the shortness of life. The reveal. keeps... I don't know what is going on. It keeps switching the scene. I have no idea why that's doing that, because I'm not on that at all. So sorry. I don't know what is going on. The whole machine is acting a little strange here. Just closed all my windows. Okay, sorry about that. It keeps shifting focus for some reason onto that streaming software and then switching scenes. So I apologize for that. I'll try to figure out what the hell's going on. All right. I look over at the stream and it's finished already. Okay, let's just get this done. Once the role was finished, the Cobra 2 made a surprise appearance. Somehow, let's see. Somehow, I don't know where this is going. Yeah, so the struggle. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know where I'm going with this. Okay. Okay. The appearance, the cardboard roll, made toilet paper, the appearance of existence. I don't know if I want to use existence. The appearance of the cardboard roll made toilet paper. Gave toilet paper a better appreciation of no. The appearance of the cardboard roll always gave toilet paper a always startled the appearance of the cardboard roll always startled toilet paper. Was always startling, I guess. Always startling to toilet for toilet paper. It was always startling. Okay. The appearance of the cardboard roll was always startling for toilet paper. Okay. Cardboard tube. Tube was always startling for toilet paper. Appearance of the cardboard tube was always startling for toilet paper. Okay, and page count and binding differences were not easy to overcome. Page count and binding differences were not easy to overcome. Okay, that's a classically stupid idea. Okay. Okay, and the appearance of the cardboard tube was always startling for toilet paper. Okay, so that looks like we did it for this week. So the surprising cardboard tube in the middle of the toilet paper and the page count and binding differences were not easy to overcome. Maybe there. Page count. Oh, it's so tight. Differences. Let's try that. Their page count and binding differences were not easy to overcome. Okay, something like that. Okay, so those are the cartoons for this week. So, oof, how long has this been? Wow. So, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry for all of the scene switches, the premature endings, and be right backs and everything. It was a little bit of a hassle this morning. So, thank you so much for being here, and I will be here again next week. And if you would like to follow this cartoon at Abuse Cartoons on Twitter, GoComics.com has a subscription that you can get to domestic abuse. So GoComics.com/domestic abuse. AbuseCartoons.com is the website. And if you would like to support this cartoon for as little as $1 a month to really get things back to their daily state, and also get yourself some signed books, original art, those sorts of things, please take a look at patreon.com/abusecartoons and consider becoming a patron. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.